All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video, and in today's video, as you can see on the screen here guys, we got green blue Zonji, one of my absolute favorites. And hey, we got a spin on today's green blue Zonji. We're going to be messing around with Supernova. That's right guys, a little bit of a Supernova engine built into green blue Zonji. Should be a lot of fun. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what you guys think about it. Now real quick before we get into the video, before I decided to make the change over to red yellow Sabo full time, because remember guys, it was black yellow Linlen first for me. For those who might be new to the channel, black yellow Linlen was my first all-in deck. I was like, this is my deck. I really enjoyed playing it. It was just fun to fun to play, fun to pilot, very enjoyable, very satisfying, I have to say. But after that, I was gonna swap over to black yellow Luffy, but it was a little too strong, right? Too strong as in it was too meta. Whenever I'm taking on a project, a deck that I call my own, I don't want it to be a meta deck. I want to push it into that region. It's just something I enjoy doing. I can't really explain it. I'm not really sure how else to say it. It's just something I get a kick out of. It's something that keeps me interested in the game. So when I was done with black yellow Linlen, I wanted to try something else, open up a new chapter for the channel. I went over to red yellow Sabo. But I have to say, there were like 3 decks in there that I was really considering. Red yellow Sabo, green blue Zonji, and probably the third one was actually red blue Marco. But I don't even know if that was fully out yet in the West when I was making that consideration. So I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's go in on red yellow Sabo and let's do this. Not that anything's wrong with green blue Zonji or red blue Marco, just that it just ended up being that way, and I'm having a lot of fun with red yellow Sabo. Now back to what we're talking about here. Let's dial in. I just want to give that quick bonus information there, that trivia kind of information there. Green Blue Zonji and me go way back, and it's a leader that I really, really enjoy, and it was nearly the deck that I started maining going into OP0, I think OP08. So, okay, but we chose Red Yellow Sabo. All right, now, let's get into this, guys. Enough rambling. Real quick, let me give you guys a quick layout so you know what you're getting into. First things first, we're going to be heading over to the VV Lab. We have a game of Red Yellow Sabo versus Green Kid. That should be a lot of fun. After that, we're going to go over and discuss the topic of the day, which will be sideboarding. Okay, that should be a lot of fun to talk about. Then we will head over to the sim. We will check out 3 games of Green Blue Zonji that you see on the screen here, me playing that. And we'll finish off with the deck list, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, guys? Very standard video lineup for today. Let's do this. Let's get into it. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and relevant links down in the comments section. Okay, guys? All right, here we go. Okay, so first things first, we're over here on the VV Lab. Now, if you're a newer player, you might be wondering, what is the VV Lab? What is that? Well, it is essentially a community-submitted game. So in other words, it's not me playing, but it's me reviewing a community-submitted game. So basically, I give my thoughts on it. We analyze the match. We talk about optimal plays, suboptimal plays, and things like that, and we really break it down. And it's meant to be like a free miniature coaching session. So if you're interested in, how do I say this? If you're a newer player or intermediate, advanced, it doesn't matter what level player you are. If you're interested in me reviewing one of your games, it is completely free. And as you can see on the screen here, guys, no one knows who it is. Like it's totally anonymous. All the names are blacked out. So if you're interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's very easy to set up. Number 1, record your game. Number 2, upload it to YouTube. And number 3, hop on the VV Theory Discord, and there is a channel called Review My Games. It's under a tab called VV's Corner. It's a tab called, the tab is called VV's Corner. It is in a channel called Review My Games. Okay, guys? You post the link in there. I give you the thumbs up emoji as soon as I see it, and you get thrown in line. And whenever it's your turn, it's your turn. Very easy to set up. Everything I just said was free. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask in the comment section. All right, now let's get into this game. Volume is off, speed 2x, quality's up as high as it will go, and we're good to go, guys. So let's analyze the board state here. You guys can't see the chat because I have that completely blocked out, but understand real quick that the the red yellow Sabo won the dice roll, and they chose to go first. I like that. With this new version of Sabo, guys, I think going first is definitely ideal. I think that's the way to go. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So turn 1 pass, and then turn 1 for Eustace Kid. They play out body and pass 5 into 1 there. Absolutely get rid of the... Guys, one thing that I preach on this side, let me scooch up my seat real quick. One thing that I really preach when it comes to like this game, just One Piece in general, go for the board. Board is priority number 1, okay? The board is priority number 1 in most situations. Every now and then a situation will come up where it's like, okay, I can't go for the board anymore. I've lost the board. I have to go for lethal. I have to try to go for face. But this early in the game, absolutely. See if you can get board control first, and then you can really start, compounding value from there. Start really piling up the value from there. So excellent job swinging 5 into the Bonnie, because that's going to draw them a card every turn. Playing out the Zoro, 5 into face, and now we're going to pass the turn. Let's see if they counter. They take it and go down to 4. Excellent. That was really good for us. Okay. Let's see real quick. Hang on real quick, guys. I do not pre-watch these, so let me see. Okay, so the opponent did reveal a Cavendish is what they revealed with that Jewelry Bonnie search. Okay, back to where we were. They play out Pedro for 4 Dawn, 5 into 5. We should probably save this if we can. Okay, we're going to let it go. Interesting. Okay. So in that situation there, I think we could have gladly given them a 2K counter. It could have been the Frankie. I would have tried to hold on the Koala, but we could have even given them the Lindbergh I like for this turn, but I would have gladly given them a Frankie or a Koala there. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Actually, when did we draw those? We drew a Frankie for the turn. So in this situation right here, I probably would have countered out with the Koala. Just give them the 2K counter and move on. Okay, even though they have Pedro, like make them use the Pedro to KO your guy. Okay, play out the Lindbergh. I do like that. I like that quite a bit. So we swung for 6. So real quick, excellent job by the Red Yellow Sabo player. They had already planned out in their mind how this turn was going to go. So in other words, they knew, okay, I'm only going to have a 4 Dawn follow-up for the Lindbergh, so I have 5 Dawn for the turn. If you're a new player, get used to doing that. Plan out your entire turn before committing anything. Okay, so in this case, the Red Yellow Sabo player knew, I need 4 Dawn this turn to play my Lindbergh, and I have 5 Dawn. So I'll attach 1 Dawn to my leader first, and I'll swing for 6. So that way, if there's any triggers, it cannot affect my board. And then I'll play out the Lindbergh and pass the turn. Excellent, excellent sequencing there from our Red Yellow Sabo player. Outstanding. Okay, so this was what we were just saying. They attached the Dawn to swing for 6. Let's see, gets a 2K counter. Very good. And then we play out the Lindbergh. Awesome. And that Lindbergh is very annoying. That Lindbergh is a nuisance. Oh, now this is very nice. Okay, so that was one reason to definitely not play around. I forgot about mentioning the Cavendish, guys. Excellent job establishing the Lindbergh on this turn. So after looking back, we do have to go back real quick, guys. I do want to say one thing that we should have done, or I would have done differently. Instead of letting the Zoro go this turn by countering out with the 2K, it was 100% a better choice to use the 1K counter ace in this situation, because we have the answer to the Cavendish we knew they drew with the Lindbergh plus the Koala. Awesome job here from the Sabo player. Okay. What just happened? Reveal and draw Kid and Killer. The opponent... Oh, they used a... pause. Or not Kid and Killer. Okay, so they played More Pizza, which is a 1-cost event searcher for Supernova, and they drew Killer. It's OP0139. So I think OP01 number 39, I think that's the blocker, the 2-cost blocker Killer. Nice. They swing in. We get a Lindbergh. Absolutely incredible here. We're in good shape to start running this board over. Let's see what happens. Okay, attach 1 Dawn. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Pause. So right here, I do like that, so maybe they'll use the blocker here to pop the Pedro. Maybe that's what we're going for. But I also like the idea of just slamming down the Koala to just get the Lindbergh out of the way right away and see if they want to give us a blocker in that way. But I like this way as well. Let me see what happens real quick. We're just waiting on them to make their decision. They take it. Wow. Push that back, play out the Koala. Excellent, excellent. Swing for 7. They need to block this with Pedro, in my opinion, and pop that big boy there, the Lindbergh. Yep, excellent. I think they should have done that to begin with, personally, but that's just me. I don't know. Because I guess what they don't realize... So let's go back and analyze what just happened real quick, guys. Look from start to finish. If you are any player, right? If you're a player, understand how red, yellow Sabo works. Watch this. They swing for 6. Actually, excuse me. Attach 1 Dawn. We telegraphed what we were doing a little bit there. So they're going to swing with Lindbergh for 7 at face, right? And pop the beige. And right here, this is where they should have used Pedro to KO the Lindbergh. That would have gotten rid of the 7,000 power character. It would have made our follow-up a little bit more difficult, but not too much. We still could have pulled it off, but it would have changed a few things. Okay, so watch this right here. If they had blocked, boom, they KO the Lindbergh. You can only KO a rested character. So watch what happens. So that'd be gone, and then we couldn't just throw this back to our life to get plus 2,000 here, and then we still have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Now we still could have attached to the Lindbergh and played out the Koala for 2. No problem. However, I just think that would have been a little bit cleaner. That's how I would have probably handled it if I was the Eustace Kid there. Not a huge difference, though, to be honest. So swinging 7. Now they can use the Pedro to KO this character. Okay, and then it's just load up 2 more on the leader. Smash in for 8. This should be going through. Unless they want to give us a double 2K counter. They do not. Very nice. Now our top life is a trigger card. We are in very, very good shape now. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. Do they want to attack? No. Guys, that is how powerful triggers can be. If they attacked that turn, we would have got the Lindbergh, and we could have swung for 7 at face, popping the Rosinante or the Killer, whichever we chose was better, and then they're just in trouble. Like, it's just, this is a very scary situation for our opponent to be in. Okay? I would probably play out the Bonnie this turn. We don't really have a great play here. Yeah, I would definitely attach 1 Dawn to the leader. I'd play out the Bonnie, and I think I would just do some smashing here. Swing for 9. Okay, this should get the Killer. If they're smart, I think they'll just use the Killer here. Unless they're trying to build up. Okay, what are they, resting a Dawn. Okay, swing for 7. Yeah, that was an odd play. Seems good. We'll take it. I don't quite understand the logic behind that play from the Eustace Kid player. But hey, that's what they chose to do. We cleaned it up. So hear me out. I thought they were probably going to try and play out an 8-cost Kid this turn. So maybe take both hits and go down to 0. Play out Eustace Kid and sit behind 3 blockers. That would have been terrifying. Not to say we couldn't deal with it. We potentially could if we got the Lindbergh back and we had a Fire Fist to start popping blockers and swinging at face. Or swinging at the, a 4,000 power reduced, whatever it's called, a Eustace Kid. But the main idea, though, is, okay, they just gave us all their blockers. They play out a Shanks to KO our Koala. That's basically 0 value. That's a 9-cost 11k vanilla is basically what that is. I guess it is better than nothing, though. Okay, I like just slamming down Bonnie. Absolutely. Slam down Bonnie and smash in. Swing in for 9. We can load 2 on Bonnie, throw it to life. I like the way this guy's thinking. I like the way this person is thinking. Very good. Locking down our leader. Sure. Are you going to attack? Yeah, we'll take it. Draw 2, trash 1. Oh, man. They're down to 2 life. We have a Kid and Killer now. We had a trash card. We trashed the Fire Fist. They swing for 5. Yeah, I mean, I might consider taking that as well. Trashing the 2K counter to play out the Lindbergh. And here we go, guys. We've got a Kid and Killer now. This is going to be disgusting. We're swinging in for 9. This is going to be a great turn. Swing for 9. Yep. 9 or 10, excuse me, math. Swung for 9, swung for 10. We have a 7k on the board. They have to KO what's on the board and then play out some kind of block. Okay, they had a blocker. I was like, wait, what? I was like, how are they going to survive? But I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to survive this turn, guys. I'd probably count out of this. I wouldn't go too gritty here. Great call, great play. And we get a Bonnie. Goodness gracious. But no, this is an ace turn. Here comes the fireworks. Swing for 9. Okay, we chose to do that in a little bit different order there. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, actually, I'm going to let it go through because this should be a game. Swing 7, swing 8. So this will take 2 cards out of hand. This would take 3 cards out of hand. Hopefully they don't have it. And because if they said that was very good, well played. So good sportsmanship from both players. Okay, they're about to type GG. So real quick, how do I say? If they had a Eustace Kid in their hand the whole time, I am so confused, guys. I am very, very confused that they had a Eustace Kid in their hand right now. Now, real quick, let's go back to where we were right here. So the way that I would have done this turn a little bit differently, I think it would have maximized our damage output, our damage potential, is I would have play out the ace like we did. Let me go back a little further. Okay, So right here, we do 5 Dawn, play out the ace. I would swing for 7 first, then play out the little ace after pushing the big ace back into life. Use the little ace to pull out the 5 cost ace again, and we will have 2 Dawn left. That's when I would swing for 8 with the leader and then 9. It probably wouldn't have mattered, but I do think it could have, you know, I don't know, maybe we were trying to get the blocker out of the way. I understand that idea too, but if that's the case, if we're trying to get the blocker out of the way, no, I think that was probably a good call, just getting the blocker out of the way right away. Very good stuff there. It worked out perfectly. Great game. The only thing that I am puzzled about right now is this person's hand. Because right here, they both said GG, by the way, very good sportsmanship. They have a Eustace Kid in their hand, and remember, they played out a beige this turn. And they have a 2K counter in hand. Guys, so I think that was a misplay from the opponent. What did they KO with the shanks? That is my question. Okay, we have to go back and look at our opponent's last turn. Okay, so remember, they would have the Eustace Kid in their hand right now, right? Because they don't draw any more cards. They play out the shanks, they play out the beige, and now we know everything in their hand from our attack from the final turn. So right here, what they should have done, in my personal opinion, is go 9, or excuse me, well, I guess 10. Go 10 into from Doflamingo into this guy. I think we're going to let it go. We should. If we don't, we should let it go, because then they're going to be able to swing 11 into it with shanks and get it for sure then, right? Because it'd be 2-2 and then 2-1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd be able to get it for sure then. So we would let it go anyway, because we want to go down to 2 life, right? That is our goal as Red Yellow Sabo running the Goa Kingdom version. So the Eustace Kid player made a few play mistakes there, but at the same time, excuse me, let me finish out their play. So after smashing into Lindbergh with everything they have, that is where you drop down the Eustace Kid, cheating out the, I guess it doesn't matter, but you can cheat out the beige, and then attach a Dawn to your Eustace Kid, and now we have to go through the Eustace Kid if we want to win the game. You see what I'm saying? But really good game there, really well played by the Red Yellow Sabo player. And yeah, I don't have much more else to say. I'm not saying if they had done the play I just said. Let me go forward a little bit. If they had played out the Eustace Kid, I'm not saying they still would have won. I'm just saying that it would have been a lot closer for the for the green Eustace Kid player. Okay, good stuff though. Really good game. Really enjoyed that one. Now let's go ahead and hop over to the topic of the day, the discussion of the day. Give me just a moment to get set up, guys. All right, so we're going to be talking about sideboarding. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean sideboarding? This is a best of 1. Oh, I know. We got to adjust the camera real quick, guys. Don't worry, I'm getting faster. I'm getting faster and faster at doing this, I think. Okay. Whoops, didn't mean to go up with it. There we go. Good enough. Okay, so guys, sideboarding. Now, we do have to use Flesh and Blood as a reference today. Why? 2 main reasons. Number 1, in Flesh and Blood, there are heroes. Just like we have leaders, they have heroes. It's basically the same idea. It's not the same thing. Our leaders can attack. Their leaders just have abilities. They use their weapons and abilities to attack in that game. Whereas in the game of One Piece, we have a leader and a crew that attacks with us, right? Slightly different. However, they do have the leader or the hero in that game. We have a leader that stays on the board and never goes anywhere. And they do best of 1 format just like we do. We do a best of 1 in One Piece, right? So in that game, they decided to do something called, I think it was formerly called the sideboard, as you can see right here. Can you guys see that? Right here it says formerly sideboard. It's called the inventory in that game, or the card pool. Bear with me, guys. This is not meant to be a perfect explanation. It'll be a little bit clumsy, but I think you guys will get the idea from it. Now, let me start all the way from square one for the newer players. What is a sideboard? Some people might be wondering, like, okay, what the heck is a sideboard if you're a newer card player, a newer TCG player? So the idea comes, I think it comes from Magic the Gathering. I could be wrong. But in the game of Magic, you have a 60-card deck. And in that game, there's no leader. This is an old game. And it was meant to be a best of 3 format, at least in standard play. Standard constructed play. So essentially, in that game, you had your 40 card, or excuse me, your 60 cards in your deck, and then a 15 card additional sideboard that was outside of your deck. Kind of like how Yu-Gi-Oh has a extra deck, not the exact same, but it's at least similar to that, I think. Some Yu-Gi-Oh players are probably rolling their eyes or shaking their head. Bear with me, guys. Come on, I'm trying to make it where everybody can understand what's going on. Just basics here. Now, let's go back to the game of Magic for that example. They have a 60 card deck and then 15 cards in their sideboard. It's a best of 3 format. So after a game, so you have your 60 card deck, and that is what you play with. After game 1, if you win or lose, you get to go over to your sideboard and add some cards from there and remove some cards from your main deck. So let's say you take out 5 cards from your main deck that are not good in the matchup you're playing. You take those 5 cards out, and then you head over to your sideboard, and you take 5 good cards from there for this matchup and add those in. That can completely change the state of the game. I have won many games coming back from a 0-1 start in Magic the Gathering, winning 2-1. Okay? I'm sure a lot of people have, because the sideboard is very, very important in a best of 3. It can completely change the tone and the speed of your deck. Okay? But we have a complication here in One Piece, don't we? Because we're doing best of 1. So if we already lose our first game, how do we sideboard? Well, Flesh and Blood has been out for 5 years now. One Piece is going on its 3rd year. And this game had to deal with that issue already. And from what I understand, someone correct me in the comments section if I'm off, but I believe Dragon Ball Super, maybe, or whatever the original Dragon Ball game was, I think they also had a pre-sideboard type of ruling. You guys tell me down in the comment section below if that's true or not. I'm not 100% sure on it. Anyway, back to Flesh and Blood. That's a game that I actually do know pretty well. And in that game, you have a 80-card deck. It's really an 80-card card pool that you can make your deck from. So in that game, the start of game procedure goes like this. We sit down across from each other, say we're playing each other. The first thing we do is we reveal our hero. That's like their leader in that game, right? They reveal their hero. Like, okay, I'm playing this hero. Oh, you're playing that hero? Very good. Okay, both players then get 3 to 5 minutes to sort through the 80 cards, take about 20 out, right? Or like 10 or 15 out or whatever they choose to do. Because some of the cards in the inventory are like, they can also be equipment pieces. That's exclusive to that game. Don't worry about that part. But they can take out some pieces here and there and adjust their deck so that it is better catered for that matchup that they're in currently. Because it's a best of 1 game. So in other words, if you lose or if you get a bad pull, well, you're out of luck. I think this pre-sideboarding idea with a card pool is a very good idea. And I hope in the future One Piece chooses to adopt it for tournament play. At a local level, it's probably not really necessary, but I know a lot of people would want it at a local level as well. So, question. What do you guys think about sideboarding, pre-sideboarding in the case of One Piece? I'm going to make my argument. I'm going to make my case for why I think it's a very good thing for the game. And you guys tell me what you guys think. Let's just always keep it respectful. We're all people here, right? Okay. I think that pre-sideboarding would be absolutely incredibly good for this game. Beneficial for the game. It rewards good deck builders. And it allows for decks that are off meta to actually be able to work their way into the conversation against meta decks. Now, real quick, I want to address something that a lot of people seem to get confused in. Hopefully, I don't have to repeat myself in the comment section below. I know a lot of people can't listen through my entire videos. They're very long. But a lot of people, when they hear this idea, they immediately think, oh, but that'll make the better decks even better. Like, it'll make the best decks even better. And I don't think that's necessarily true. It could be. Let's just be completely open-minded. Let's be realistic. It could potentially make them even better. However, they're not going to be choosing to add cards to their sideboard to deal with my red yellow Sabo deck. I mean, maybe nowadays they do, just because I know a lot of people play red yellow Sabo. But think about like the Blurple Croc player. Okay, think about the Blurple Kaido player even. Excuse me. There are certain leaders in this game that see almost no play, not because they're totally unplayable, but because they might have one bad matchup that is just unbeatable. Like we're talking like a 5 or maybe 10% chance to win against them. So it's like, okay, if I go into a tournament and I play this really cool leader that I absolutely love and I pilot it better than maybe anybody, you know, or maybe I'm one of the top players that plays this leader, you know, that can pilot it the correct way. But then I line up against my bad matchup, well, I just automatically lose. Here's the thing. If pre-sideboarding was available, and we're going to talk about the details of that in just a second. If pre-sideboarding was available, I could make my sideboard to basically better allow me to go against that matchup. Like have an entire sideboard dedicated to helping me win that matchup. Now, let's talk about that. How big should the sideboard be in One Piece? Magic had a 15-card sideboard for a 60-card deck. One Piece is a 50-card deck, and I think in that game it should be a 12-card sideboard. I hate to call it that. Let's call it like so essentially you'd have a 62-card deck, and with that, before the game starts, you take your 12 cards out so that it's always 50 cards when you start. I would keep that part of the game where you have to have your 50 cards. Like you have to have 50 when you start. Okay, that would be very easy to keep up with. All you have to do is shuffle your opponent's deck. You know, you can count their cards like that if you want to, if it's someone you don't trust or whatever at locals for whatever reason. Or you could just do like the land, not land stacking, the pile shuffling. And you could do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And you go through it in like literally less than 1 minute just to shuffle their deck, push it together, give it back to them, you know, and go to it. But I don't think that'd be an issue. That's just me trying to think of ways people would try to exploit it. Like, oh, I'm only going to have 45 cards in my deck using this new method, and no one will know. Well, I would know immediately because I'll shuffle your deck. But hopefully that makes sense. I don't think many people are like that. I guess you'd have to watch out for the Nami players. Those dirty Nami players. No, I'm just kidding. I know someone's getting mad at that. I'm just kidding, guys. It's just a joke. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about how this might look in One Piece. Why do I say 12 cards exactly? That is 3 play sets of some card. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that. Real quick, let me finish off on this Flesh and Blood thing, and then we'll go to the One Piece example. I'm going to read real quick up to right here. The inventory in Flesh and Blood, this is a Flesh and Blood example where they have a pre-sideboard. The inventory refers to all cards from your card pool that would be legal to play in your game, but have not been selected in the start of game procedure. Previously, the inventory referred to only weapons and equipment in your deck or sideboard during a game. In order to broaden the language as well as bind thematic meaning to cards for future sets, these cards will now be referred to as the player's inventory during the game. For example, in Classic Constructed, that's the main thing we're talking about. In Classic Constructed format, you have an 80-card pool. During the start of game procedures, you select at least 60 cards from your card pool to start in your deck, and typically 5 to 6 cards to start in the arena. That's their equipment pieces, don't worry about that. Any leftover cards from the 80 then become your inventory for the game. Now, in One Piece, I'd make it where instead of it, you see out here it says select at least 60 cards. In One Piece, I would actually have it say, you know, you select exactly 50 cards. So just to get that out of the way, and I just want to show you guys how it's dealt with in another game. This next part down here is talking about a 90-card pool for opening for like sealed and draft. That's something totally different, okay? Don't worry about that. But this part right here I think would be really beneficial for us in the One Piece TCG community on the competitive scene. Yes, it could potentially help some decks get even better, but it would really allow, you know, like some of the better decks get better, but it would really allow for the decks that see almost no play to actually be able to compete against some of the better decks. So to keep them on the back foot in that way. So, okay, now, how might that look in One Piece? Of course, I'm going to use a red, yellow, Sabo example because that's my deck. So this is like the standard control deck that most people are running right now. Not exact numbers, but this is roughly the idea of it. Okay, I just threw this together for the example, guys. Don't take too much out of this. Let me clear this up so it's not distracting anyone. So this is this is it. However, in what I'm suggesting, if they were to implement a pre-sideboard or a card pool or an inventory into the game of One Piece, let me see, what could they call it? They could call it like, think about being on a ship, right? Like they could call it like your, you know, your reserves. They could call it your cabin, something like that. They could come up with a really cool name for it, or maybe you guys could, I don't know. However, this is what it might look like. So this is like the deck that I chose, but this is what my entire card pool might have looked like. There's not much of a difference, is there? However, look at the major differences. There are 2 aces and 2 of the 2 costs and 3 of the 5 cost aces in here. There's a little 5-card package that I added. I also went up 2 of the Luffy's against like the Lucci matchup. So that was 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 4 is 11 for the Flampeys. I went up the Flampeys, and then let's see what else I added. I added 1 more Gadatsu for the you know, the Doflamingo matchup. Now again, watch what happens. You know, maybe take a screenshot now and then watch afterwards. So I'm going to load it. Look at the difference. Barely a difference. But 12 cards. Those 12 cards that I showed, the 5 ace cards, the 2 extra Luffy's, the 4 extra Flampeys, and then the what else was there? I added 1 more Gadatsu. I think I did the math wrong though. It was 4 Flampeys plus 5. Yeah, I did the math wrong. So it was 4 Flampeys, 5 aces, 2 Luffy's, that's 11, and then 1 extra Gadatsu. Having those little extra cards in my sideboard would allow me to have a better matchup into 4 very important decks right now. One is Lucci, the other is Nami, the other is Doflamingo, and the 4th one would have been something like the yellow decks, like a Nell and Katakuri, getting the extra rush support and going wider in that way. Now again, with this rule, you would still have to have exactly 50 cards in your deck. However, the beginning of game procedures for the one-piece interaction would go like this. I sit down across from my opponent. Hey, how you doing? Good luck. The leaders get shown. You don't shuffle your deck yet. You show your leader. Okay, you're playing Red Yellow Saba. Okay, oh, you're playing Doflamingo, right? Okay, well, in that situation, I might decide to drop down. Let's just say I decide to drop down maybe some of these 3 Zoros, and I go up a Gadatsu, and maybe go up, or actually just go down 1 Zoro and go up 1 Gadatsu, or go down 1 Kid Killer and go up 1 Gadatsu, and I'd have that option. And I say that because currently I feel like our matchup against Blue Dof, he's actually pretty strong, so I wouldn't have to make much adjustments for that matchup. But say I go against Lucci. Okay, now, okay, I'm going against Lucci, huh? Okay, well now all of a sudden, Zonji, that's a dead card. I mean, it is a trigger card that can come out of play, but that's getting dropped more than likely. I'll drop 4 of these and go up 4 of the ace package we just talked about, and maybe even drop a Rayleigh and go up the final 5th ace piece. You see what I'm saying? But I would definitely go up 2 Luffy's no matter what, because that will really help me go into their blockers and try to win in that way. One more example I want to talk about is against Nami. Well, against Nami, they are going to just try to go late game and take me out. Well, if I get a fairly slow start, I'm probably in trouble against Nami. Even being a red deck with rushers, you still can lose. Like, for example, if I'm running all of my ace cards in my main deck and I'm going against Nami, well, I probably lost that game. I can tell you from experience I've lost one of those games. Okay? Well, guess what? In that matchup, you know what card I don't really need as a 2K counter? This one. This card's dead. This is a dead card against a matchup like Nami, right? I mean, I guess potentially I could use it to try to pop like Zeph or something, but I'd rather have access to my Flampeys, where number 1, I can draw more cards, and number 2, I can go down in life and get closer to the condition for my aces. So that's just, so let me say this. I think this would really benefit the decks that are not in the top tier far more than it would benefit decks that are in the top tier. And I want to know what you guys think. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Do you think pre-sideboarding could work in this game? Do you not want it to work in this? Do you not want it to exist in this game? What are your thoughts on it? Where do you stand on it? And don't worry about this one example, guys. Like, you can use it for any deck. Let me bring back this one. Like, you know, this is just my Red Yellow Sabo deck with some ideas that I had that can make it better. That can make the game better for like the non-meta decks. Because let's just say Lucci, right? Let's just go to Lucci. Hopefully I have one made. Is this it? I think this one's like a pretty standardized list. Bear with me if it's not. I think it's pretty close. Let me move Lucci. Okay, it doesn't really help because there's so many lines. But here's the thing. This deck is already catered to do a certain thing, and it does it very well. Well, what would they add to their deck to help them go against me as Red Yellow Sabo? The answer is nothing, right? Because their sideboard would be better at dealing with Black Yellow Luffy, Bonnie, and Enel, right? And maybe, what's another one? Soon it'll be Blackbeard and Shanks, right? Their sideboard would be completely catered to go against the top 4, top 5 decks in the format, and the mirror match, of course, and the mirror match. Okay, I'm not worried about that, right? So again, I ask, what is it in this deck that I have to worry about them changing out that would hurt me as a Red Yellow Sabo player? Because I can tell you right now, Sabo, Rebecca, in this deck in particular, they're running 4 Sabos, 4 Rebeccas. Yeah, well, that's my worst nightmare, right? They're already running the full suite. I guess maybe someone could say, like, oh, well, they'll go up Borsalinos. They'll go up just more blockers. Let's just say say they have 4 cards on their sideboard that are 4 Borsalinos. Okay, fine, because I'm going up to 4 Luffys, and I'm going to keep putting them back into my life. You're not going to be able to stop me from getting my unblockable Luffys. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, I'm not saying that it will not also help the top decks in the format, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the amount of difference it will give them. I think the way it will help the top decks in the format is maybe like this much, whereas like the lower decks in the format, it will help them this much. So it's like, sure, give them this minute incremental advantage if you can give me this gargantuan, gigantic advantage. I think it would be beneficial to the game. I don't want to spend too much more time on this. I'm probably sounding like a broken record right now. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Let's just please try to have intelligent responses. I don't mean that in an offensive way. A lot of people just say, oh, that'd be stupid, that'd be busted. It's like, well, explain why, please. You know what I mean? Or that'd be really good. Explain why. If you want to. You don't have to, of course. Say what y'all want to down there. But, man, I've been noticing a lot of the comments in the comment section, I don't know if they're just like going for the reaction, what they'll get, but some are just like, guys, please don't be like that. Okay, the trolls, you can't stop the trolls. I get that, but I just really enjoy intellectual conversation on stuff like this, and I like when people keep an open mind. I don't like when people just shoot down an idea. I also don't like when people are just all in on an idea. Like, let's be skeptical. Let's be truly skeptical. Like, okay, can it work or will it not work? What would be benefits? What would be downsides? What are the pros? What are the cons? And do you guys agree or disagree? Would this help out? Like, let me say this. Do you think that this would help out, this idea of pre-sideboarding? Would it help the lesser decks? Let's call them the lesser decks in the format. Would it help them actually do better? And if it's going to help out the better decks already do better, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, what would it matter? Again, you guys, hopefully y'all see where I'm coming from. I know I'm getting a little bit clumsy with this, but think of it like this. If the best decks in the format are already the best decks in the format, and they get a little tiny bit better from this increase, but let's just call them the lesser decks. I don't want to say the worst decks, the lesser decks in the format. If those become exponentially better from this, whereas the best decks are only getting minutely better, is that not worth it for the overall health of the game? It seems to make sense to me. All right, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Let's try to keep it, again, let's try to keep it peaceful down there. Let's try to keep it chill. Let's try to show some respect down there. Let's talk like you're talking to someone in real life, right? Let's not be too aggressive. Okay, now let's keep going. All right, so now we have to go over to, we got 3 games on the sim of green, blue, Zonji. I absolutely love playing this leader. I do plan on playing it a little more frequently, actually. Whoa, there we go. That thing's jumping all around on me. Okay, so first game up, we got a game versus Nami. So let's turn the volume off. Let's get the speed on 2x. And we're good to go, guys. Let's do this. So we got a game of Zonji. Oh, what's that in my hand? Is that a pudding? Yes, it is. Is that a Namule? Yes, it is. Guys, Namule in this deck, we're going to talk about that more later. I am running the 5-cost. This is a Supernova version of the deck with a few other random cards. I'm running the 5-cost Law, pulling cards back and dropping Namule as a second blocker and a draw 2, a range 2. Absolutely really good. Really, really strong. Okay, so we get another 7-cost Luffy there. They play out Akaya. So I am going to be doing some searching here. That's for sure. I am going to be doing some searching here because I'm running 3 or 4 puddings and 2 Gions. Okay, we'll swing 5 because they're tapped out. They can't lose. They can't. Okay, they get a draw 2 from their life. Seems good. So we go ahead and pump them with the good old-fashioned pudding. So did y'all see what just happened there, guys? Hang on, pause. Okay. So they're at 7 cards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gotta double check that. We attack. Wait. We attack for 5. They take it. They get to draw 2. They went up to 8 cards, I think it was, because that card was already in their hand. They go up to 8 cards, pudding down to 5. They add 3 cards back to their deck. Seems good. Okay. Pudding is just a disgusting card. It's not like it's just Nami tech, but it is very good against Nami. And guess what? We can just continuously play it with this leader because we can pull it back every single time with our leader's effect. 2K counter. Okay, I'm looking for my, in this game, I'm looking for my Gions. So we're going to go searching for them now. Okay, so we're going to swing for 5. They have 3 Dawn active. Let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to use cards pretty aggressively now. Seems good. Swing for 5 more. I'm just kind of poking their hand size down, trying to get cards out of their hand. They give me a white snake early on. That's good. We'll pull back the pudding, draw 2, and then arrange 2 on the top or bottom with your Namiel. I think we're just going to get rid of these small cards. I think I should have got rid of one of the Luffy's, but oh well. We'll get the bigger bodies down. I'm searching for a card, though. I am specifically searching for a card in what's her name? I can't remember her name. Gion. Okay. Notice I'm running Basil Hawkins. In this deck, you might be thinking like, oh, but he's locked to, let me get, pause. Okay. This card, you might be thinking, oh, but he's locked to, Supernova. Nope. Only his blocker ability is locked to Supernova. He still has, once per turn, if this character were to be removed from play by one of your opponent's effects, you may instead rest one of your opponent's characters. So yeah, that would be nice if he had blocker. However, he is a 7,000 power body, which is perfect for our leader effect, and he has a way of sticking on the board. He's very sticky. Okay. Even that picture looks sticky, doesn't it? Gross. Namiel. There's the card we were looking for. There she is, the star of the show. All right, we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. I don't know what we get rid of. Yeah, I think I should just get rid of the other. Yeah. Excuse me. We're going to play out the Gion. Now we're going to attack. Let's see what they do. Snake Dance. They return a card. But guess what? Now they have to put a card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. That's what Gion does. Okay. So let's see what happens now. And guys, in this deck, think about some of the combos. You're about to see them. Some of the combos I have with Gion for this deck are gross. I can pull the card back and replay it and get the effect again for the turn. And that does happen this game. Just wait. Just wait. They're going to swing for 6. I think we give them a blocker here. Those Namiels did their job 100 times over. I just needed Gion. That's all I needed. Oops, I had this other microphone on the whole time. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the recording. Okay, so we're going to play out the Basil Hawkins, I think, this turn. I'm going to swing for 5. If they use a card from their hand, they have to add a card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. They're going to Desert Spot them. Now they have to put a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. They're still at 31 cards, guys, on turn 5. Okay. So here we go. Looks like I'm going to play out. I'm going to attack first with the Gion. He's probably, licking his lips. He's like, oh, man, I'm going into that Gion next turn. It's like, no, you're not. Trust me. Trust me. No, you're not. We're going to do this. Pull that card back. I'm going to play out the Mihawk just to have a body on the board. We'll play out the Gion. And now that card has left play and has been pulled back into play from our hand. So now the effect can be used again. It resets. Understand that, guys. That character was on the board and it used its effect. Now I'm pulling it back and putting it back into play. Once it changes zones, it's like a new character. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to swing for 7. Go ahead. Go ahead and counter out of this. They use another level up beam to draw a card. Now they have to put another card on the bottom of their deck. They're going to go from 29 cards to 30 cards. Guys, that is very, very strong. For those who might not know, for those who might be wondering, that is very, very strong. Okay? And I can do that every turn. I can do it every single turn if I need to. while swinging for 5 with it. While swinging for 5 with it and basically standing it up by replaying it. Okay. We got the other Basil Hawkins in here too. The 5 cost Basil Hawkins that can restand if it hits a character. So hey, let's go ahead and swing for 7. They do a snake dance. Now they have to put a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. Seems good. And now we're going to swing for 7 here because I need to pull a card back and stand it. So I want to get the full value from my Gion. Okay, seems good. Well, now they have no cards in hand, so I'm going to swing for 5. They're going to have to give me a blocker or give me their card. They give me a card, or they take a life. Okay. Now remember, guys, there's still like 25 cards in deck. I'm going to swing for 6, pulling back the Gion, standing up the Trafalgar Law. They take it. They still have 2 Dawn left. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and play out. They use a Gum Gum Giant Gavel trigger to return a card. They give me my 2K counter back. I don't care. Swing for 7. They take it. They're at 24 cards left in deck. Swing for 7. They use a blocker. They were too scared to use another card because it would go to the bottom of their deck from the Gion. Okay, they're at 23 cards left. Here we go. Let's see what they do now. This is insurmountable at this point, guys. Zeph, they're going to pull back their Kaya, I'm sure. Mill 2. Seems good. They play out Kaya. Draw 2, trash 2. Okay. They're at 19 cards in deck. They're going to swing for 5. I'll just 1K. Even I could have taken that. I wouldn't have mattered. Doesn't matter. So right here, swing for 7. As soon as they use their level up beam in this case, they're going to put a card on the bottom. So it's like they're every single time they're getting taxed with that, guys. It's just so strong. And this game's over. This one's over. Snake Dance, pull back the card. They'll go up to 9, and they still have to take it. I think they messed up there. It didn't matter. They did mess up there. They weren't supposed to take that hit. They accidentally buffed the character they were trying to pull back. But I'm coming in for 7. I'm coming in for 7. Coming in for 9. So it's like, it was going to be coming in for 7. Play out the Gion. So again, they just have to keep putting these cards back on the bottom of their deck and swing 7, swing 7. They couldn't have got out of that either. So really good game there to the Nami player. They were going against a absolute literal hard counter to what they were doing. Really good stuff there. That was a fun one. So, moral of the story for this game, if you don't like playing against Nami, you don't like losing to Nami, you might want to try this deck out. All right, we got 2 more games. Another game versus Green Kid, guys. Been seeing a lot of Green Kids on the ladder lately. Okay, speed is 2x, volume is off. Here we go. And guys, Namuel is so nice in this deck. I can't really explain it. It's because I could just keep pulling it back and setting my top cards every time. It's actually so good. It's not searchable. It is a Fishman, Whitebeard Pirates type card, but who cares? It's just a 3 cost. It's a blocker. It goes with our leader effect and the 5 cost Law and the 8 cost Eustace Kid. Namuel is an all-star in this deck, guys. He is an actual all-star in this version of the deck. We'll swing 6. They gave me an early block. I don't know why they gave me that early blocker, but I'll take it. Draw 2, trash 2, or draw 2, put 2 to the top or bottom, how you want them. I almost always go to the bottom, guys, because I'm trying to go through my deck faster and faster. They get a Basil Hawkins. Seems good. I need to establish my Basil Hawkins here, I think. So we'll swing 5. He'll probably give me a 1K. Yep, gives me a Rouge. I'm going to play out the Basil Hawkins. Remember, he cannot block for me. This is not a blocker for my deck. My leader is only Straw Hats. Swing for 7. I have to take that. If I block it, he will restand. Plays out Cavendish. Swings for 8. I'll use the blocker now. And here we go. There's the 8 cost, the 5 cost Trafalgar Law. We'll swing 7 into there. Watch this, guys. We got tricks for this guy. We got some tricks here. We're going to have to play out the Sugar, even though he can't rest anything, just so I can pull the card back and stand up the Basil Hawkins. 6 into it. We get rid of it. Seems good. And let's see what we do next. I think we're going to swing in more here. You know, I play out the Namuel first. I kind of messed up that turn. I wanted to do a trick with the Trafalgar Law, but it's just not going to work out. Okay, so we put those cards on the bottom, and I think we're just going to swing in for 9 here. Say your turn. They've been very aggressively countering out. I don't think that's the right call. But at the same time, this deck is very explosive. They swing 6. I think I'm going to give him a 2K here. Gion's not really good in this matchup, obviously, so it's just a 2K counter. 8 into 5. We'll take that, you know. 8 into 5 is not, you know, it is what it is. We're not getting out of that. Right here, though, I think it's time to play out the 8 cost Kid. We're down to 1 life. Actually, I might wait one more turn. I might wait one more turn for that. Okay, they let the Cavendish go. It's like, hang on now. Hang on. If I could have, I would have absolutely swung into that Rosinante, but I needed all my Dawn this turn to cheat out the Namiel, attach a Dawn to this guy, and say go. I did not want to lose the that previous turn because of the way Eustace Kid, the leader, works. They could swing twice for like 12-12. I didn't want to lose my guy. So they're going to swing for 8. They're going to freeze my Basil Hawkins down again. I think I need to get my 2K counter here because I'm actually considering playing the 7-cost Luffy into the 4-cost Zoro on this next turn. Okay, we go and block there, and they only have 2 Dawn left. They play out a killer. Okay. Now, let's see what we can do here. This is going to be a very important turn. I need to make sure I play this just right. I'm trying to do some math in my head right now. I'm going to tap down the killer with a sugar. I'm going to swing for probably 6 into... trying to make up my mind. I'll go 6 into the killer there, standing my Hawkins. Then I'm going to go probably 7 into the bunny. I might go 8. I like 8 better. I don't remember what I do here, but I think 8 is the right call. Okay, yep, 8 into 6. And then I think we're going to go really hard here, go 11 into 8, play out another Namiel. Guys, these Namiels, I've probably gone through at least half my deck at this point. I've played it out like 4 times. I played out, I think, 2 of them, and I've gotten, or no, I played out 3, I think, and I've used them all together like 3 or 4 times, or 4 or 5 times. Really strong card in this deck. 12 into 8. They have 3 more. They're going to restand it. I'm going to block. I'm going to force them to trash card and restand it. Okay, so I'm going to 2 and 1 here, or 2 and 2 is what I had. Or excuse me, I had a 2-2-1 there. 6, they're trying to stand up Dawn to go to 10. Brutal. I'm going to have to aggressively counter out, guys. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. But this board is about to go. Now we can actually get rid of this board. Feels good. We're going to finally get rid of this board. We'll go 8 into 6. Here's the crazy part, guys. I absolutely have to get rid of this Rosinante here. And I have to make it where they have to attack into my Eustace Kid, because they can use their Eustace Kid to literally KO me this turn, right? Because they can go just like this, swing 12 at leader, pay 3 with leader effect, trash a card, swing 12 again. So if I did not have that or a blocker, I couldn't have won. 12 into 7. I'll keep the blocker. I think he's more useful at this stage. And here we go. I think I have one more turn that I could try to set up. Potentially. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I'm going to swing for 10. Don't use the leader effect. This should drop him down to 1. I'll play out the other Trafalgar Law. Your turn. If they have a 7-cost Hody Jones, I think I just lose. But they don't know that either. They don't know either. Swing. Well, I guess I wouldn't have because I had a 1K counter there. Okay. Actually, no, I sort of lost because the Hody Jones would have came in and finished me. So, okay, we swing for 7. We swing for 7. We swing for 7, pulling back one of these guys, standing him up. GG. After that, it was going to be, so it was swing 7, swing 7, swing 7, and then it was going to be 7 plus 6, swing for 13. So that's how Green Blue Zonji can finish out games, guys. This leader is very powerful, and it played around a lot of effects in that game, like the carrot, locking my characters down. Really, really powerful. Okay, we got one more. We got one more game. I really enjoyed this version. I'm not saying it's the best version out there, the Supernova version, but I'll tell you right now, after experiencing the 5-cost Trafalgar Law, the 3-cost Namiel, and the 8-cost Eustace Kid, we'll talk about that as we get into it later in the video, like for the wrap up. But it was really strong, guys. Okay, playing out Jory Bonnie, doing some searching, getting what we need, trying to keep my hand strong, and now they have 2 characters they need to attack into on the board, or they're going to be in trouble. 5 and a 1, you can have it. Very nice. 4 calls to probably have the zebra. They just searched up that Mino zebra with the Hannibal. Okay, we're going to play this card out. We use the hang on one second, pause. We use Dracula Mihawk to cheat out the 4-cost character so that we could swing 6 with our leader, which was 1,000 more than we would have been able to swing, pulling back our 2K counter and standing up that Zoro. So it's almost like nothing ever happened, but we got the extra 1,000 damage worth of value, or 1,000 power worth of value. Okay, and it goes through. Seems good. 2K counter. They didn't use a 2K counter. And now let's see what they do. They hit me with a pudding. Seems good. They're going to swing 7,000 in banish. I just let it go. 2 and 1, he can have that. And then he's going to have 6, and we'll probably just counter out of this one. Gion's not really the greatest card here. Okay, or no, they only swung for 5, excuse me. So I just give him a Jory Bonnie. Okay, they return that card back to their hand. So here we go. We're at 7 Dawn. We have a lot of interesting options here. I think Namiel's definitely the way to go here. Let's see what happens, though. We'll swing for 7. They have 1 Dawn active, which is probably that rifle card that sends a card back that's active. So I try to play around that to the best of my ability. So watch this, guys. Pretty spicy turn here. Watch this. I'm trying to work it out right now. We'll swing. We got 6 Dawn. I'm going to swing for 6. Okay, this is not the same turn I was thinking of. I thought I was going to do a double Namiel play here. But we do not do that. We're going to play out the Bonnie, lock down one of his Dawn. He will not have 10 Dawn this turn. He's down to 9. He only has 9 Dawn. And we slowed him down because he did ramp earlier in the game. So hopefully that comes back to help us a little bit. We have a 6,000 power body. Does he want to swing into that? And the answer is yes, he does. It's like, okay, well, he has 7 more Dawn. I assumed he was going to Gravity Blade Raging Tiger there. So I said, okay, you can have it. They swing for 5. We take it, get a Basil Hawkins. They get a Mino Rhinoceros. And here we go. Okay, so what do we do here? This situation, it is time to... I had my mouse over Hody. I don't think I go in with Hody this turn. I could be wrong. But I am in trouble. I'm like, okay, he has a full board. 2 of them don't matter, but 3 of them are relevant. A 4K body and up is always relevant. 5K, 5K, 5K after that. I only have 2 life, and my hand is not exactly loaded with counters. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. What is the best way to go about this? I'm going to go 6 and a 4 first. Let's see what he gives me. Okay, he lets that go. That is a step in the right direction for me. I play out the Namiel, do a top 2 set. I'm going to swing in for 6, pull back the Namiel, stand up the Jory Bonnie. Okay. Now we're going to swing for 6 more. He's starting to get scared. He used his blocker there. I pull back the Bonnie, play out the Namiel again. That's a draw 4, a range 4, guys. I'm cycling through 4 cards. I have 2 blockers now and 2 life. I have triple 2K counter and 1K, and I have a Hody Jones in my hand. This guy's in more trouble than he actually knows. Okay, swing 5, swing 5. Notice I went up to the Dawn there. I'm like, he's about to play the 10 drop, isn't he? Right here, I should just block. Okay, play mistake for sure, countering out. I should have just blocked with my Trafalgar Law. That was a play mistake. Okay, we got to call it when we see it, guys. We got to call it when we see it. There was no reason for me to drop a 2K counter. Literally 0 reason to do that. We get another 2K counter, I guess never punished. But right here, guys, it is time to go absolutely crazy on this guy. We're going to swing for 7, swing for 9, pull back this guy, stand that guy. And now we're going to go in for 7 plus 5 is 12. I'm saying, okay, 9 cards in hand, huh? All right, well, if you got it, you got it. Because here's what my logic was. Pause. This was my logic. If he decided to go 10, 10, 12, which is what he could have done, right? He could have gone 10, 10, 12, 5 on Rhinoceros, 5 on Hannibal, 12 with Kaido. I could actually get out of that because I have 2K, 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 1K in hand. So even if they decided to go 5, 5 on the little Hannibals first, I give them a 1K and a 2K, and then they only have 4 Dawn left. I would just need a single, one more counter from my hand, and I can get out of it. And let's see what I end up having. I swing for 12 here. They had just under what they needed. GG. And I did have a Jory Bonnie in life, so that would have been one more 1K counter. So I literally could have gotten out of it either way. So that was why that's why I went all in on that, because even if they tried to block her up after that, it would not have mattered because I had Hody Jones in hand. Okay. Really good game there. That's what Green Blue Zonji can do. It finds the weak point, and it goes, okay, I found my opportunity, strike, strike, strike. It's like a triple strike, and I really like that, you know, because that's like how the leader is, right? Well, it's Zoro and Sanji, but it has that like 3-sword style kind of idea with Zoro, where it's like, I'm going to hit you with this guy, hit you with my leader, standing up the guy, hit you with the guy again. It's like a triple strike, really thematic, really cool. Okay, that was fun. Hope y'all enjoyed those ones. So let's go ahead and check out the deck list. Let me see what I called this thing, guys. I come up with a new name every time. It's so hard for me to remember. I think I called it something to do with green, blue, Zonji. It was something Nova. Zonji Nova. Here it is. Perfect. I was getting scared, guys. I didn't see it at first. I was like, oh no. Okay, so here's the leader. Pause and read this if you don't know what he does. I'm going to run through the deck list and we'll talk about it. I'm running 2 of the 2K counter Apus with the on play, 2 Izos, 3 Trafalgar Law, 2 Eustace Kid, 4 of the 7-cost Luffy. Did not help me out as much as I would have liked for it to. Definitely dropping the countdown of this card. 4 Zoro. This was actually a great card, just playing it out on curve or 1K counter in hand. Searchable. This card was great. 2 Sugars. This was meant to just combo with my leader effect to get around the little blockers. 3 Hody Jones. 4 Jory Bonnie. 3 Basil Hawkins. 4 Jory Bonnie, the 1-cost Searcher. 2 of the Restand Law. Also did not come up very much. Was not a huge fan of this card. It wasn't bad. It's just it wasn't super practical for what I'm trying to do. It's almost like this. Why would I spend 5 to stand a character when I can do it for 1? And I think it ends up being like, yes, someone could make the argument like, oh, well, you could stand. It's like, okay, but I'd rather just have like a 5-cost 6K rush at that point that doesn't need a special target on the board. That has to be Supernova, like the 5-cost, let me let the green cards come in. The 5-cost Nekamamushi that just came out, OP08, I think it was. I'll check in just a second. But that card I can just give rush to, and he just comes in swinging, and he has a 1K counter. Whoops. So 5-cost, the card I'm talking about is this one. This is a 5-cost 6K 1K counter, the exact same stats as Trafalgar Law, but I can attach a Dawn to this guy and swing in for 7 on the turn I play him, and then, surprise people by like playing out a Sugar, tapping down their character, swinging for 7 with the where's he at? I just lost him. Oh my goodness, guys, there. Swinging for 7 with this guy, pulling back the Sugar, standing him, swinging for 7 again with the leader effect. So, a lot of potential there. So some things I might mess with. I don't know how relevant running the Searcher package is and keeping this exclusively Supernova. In fact, let me say this. Here's what I learned from playing this right here. Oh wait, I didn't even finish going through the count, guys. My bad. 2 Basil Hawkins, 4 of the 2K counter Mihawk, 2 Gion. This card was an all-star against Nami. 3 Pudding, also really good against Nami, and 4 Namuel. Now, real quick. My big takeaway from this this playtesting was I don't know if the Jory Bonnie Supernova engine is even worth running. I literally think I just want 3 or 4 of these guys, and probably 2 or 3 of these guys. This Jory Bonnie was kind of clutch. It came in pretty handy in a few situations. I'd probably stick to 2 or 3 of these. Because even if I just play this out on curve, that's a 5-cost 6K body that I can start smacking them with on the following turn. And it's a 1K counter. So like that's really it though. Because that's like, let's just say 3, 6, 9, 12. If I'm only really concerned with 12 targets with my Jory Bonnie, arguably 16 with this Zoro. Well, I don't know because it counts itself too. So that's like 20. You guys tell me what y'all think. Because I did also like this guy. But everything else was like this. The 4 Luffys was whatever. The 2K counters are just searchable. It is what it is. But I'm just going to say this. The big takeaway I had from this playtesting is this card, the 8-cost Eustace Kid, the 5-cost Trafalgar Law, and 3-cost Namuel was a match made in heaven. It felt really strong. And that's what I'm really trying to say. Do I even need a Jory Bonnie when I can just play out the Namuel and just pull cards back and forth in that way? I don't think so. I don't think I need the Bonnie because I'm just going to play out Namuels and I'm going to return those back to my hand with a leader effect whenever I can. Because that is a draw. Yeah, that's a draw to a range 2. So I really do like this card, and that will open up my options. Maybe at that point I do try to just go. Maybe I'll try to make a best of deck. So like in Red Yellow Sabo, that's what the control deck ended up being. It wasn't just one type. It wasn't like Rebel Army. It wasn't Big Mom Pirates. It wasn't Straw Hat, fill in the blank, whatever. It was, let's just pick all the absolute best cards because of how generically powerful this leader effect is. Let's just literally find the best cards in slot, like for each cost, and just try to run it that way. And even which cards have the most synergy. Like I said, Eustace Kid and Namuel and the Trafalgar Law. That's a lot of synergy, guys. That's a lot of value. We'll have to mess around with this and see what goes on. All right, I'm done, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. The voice is almost back to normal. I really want to know what you guys think about this deck, about the Straw Hat, or excuse me, about the Supernova version of this deck. What do you guys think? I haven't really checked. I haven't really been paying too much attention. Are we getting anything good in OP09? Excuse me. Well, yeah, OP09 and OP10, I guess. Which, hang on, I just saw this down here. All right, hang on. We gotta talk about this. Spoiler warning. If you don't want to spoiler, back out, run away. Check out this card coming out in OP10. This is OP10. It's a 5-cost, 7,000 power banish character. No counter, obviously. Activate main, set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. Then you cannot set your Dawn cards as active through character's effects for the rest of the turn. Who cares? We don't have any anyway. That could be insane. That's a 5-cost, 7k banish character in this deck. So we plop this down on turn 3. Next turn, we're swinging 7k banish twice. This could be a card we look out for. Let me see if there's anything else. Let me see if I type in OP10. It should have come up. I think that, yeah. So this is all they have on the sim just yet. Excuse me. Oh, let me bring up blue as well. Excuse me. Oh, they played around this one. They knew. How did they know we were going to try to abuse this? This is a draw 2, trash 1 when attacking, but it's once per turn. Darn you, pesky Bandai, playing around our ideas. They knew what we were going to try to do with this. Let's see. Maybe, so I have considered, no, I don't think so. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to mess around with a blue Dressrosa engine coming out in OP10. There's not a lot just yet. There's more than what we see here, by the way. This is just like 5 cards that they have shown. I'm pretty sure there's, well, actually, maybe they're all black cards. I don't know. Either way, I know there's way more than just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards or 6 cards from blue in OP10. So if there is enough like blue Dressrosa support, maybe we mess around with this idea of playing out the of using this Rebecca to our advantage. Because let me read this real quick. It's a 7-cost, 4,000 power, or 1k counter. So the stats are horrible, right? But listen to what it does. Again, this is OP10, guys, so spoiler warning. On play, if there is a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw 1 card. Well, that kind of hurts us. We'll talk about that in a second. Then reveal up to 2 cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type characters other than Rebecca from your hand. Play one of them as active. Then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it as rested. So there could be some potential there, but what would we play that costs 8 or more? Because in the Usopp deck that this card is made for, all cost 2 and greater Dressrosa characters have +1 cost, so it counts itself. But who knows? I'm just throwing some ideas out there. We might not want to use it, but we'd be able to cheat out a card like this if the effect were to work for us. We'd be able to cheat out a card like this and a card like this. That would be absolutely bonkers. Maybe we run the 10-cost Doflamingo. We just plop that card down, lock their board, play Rebecca on the following turn, and say, okay, I hope you can win this turn, because next turn you are done for. You know what I mean? We'll have to see. It's just something to think about. I'm not saying it will work or not. It's just we're just brainstorming. All right, I'm done, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Oh, let me throw up the... not throw up. That didn't sound right. There we go. Let's put up the VP Pirates Playmat supporter page. Hey, guys, if you are just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, or viewing my videos, you're helping me out more than you know. You're helping me out big time. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Also, if you're buying the playmat or helping me out in any kind of way like that, thank you so much to the VP Pirates Playmat supporters. I hope you guys are enjoying the playmat. And then last but not least, the patrons. Thank you to everybody on here just trying to help the channel, just trying to help me out, trying to keep the channel going, and keeping the dream alive. I'll never stop saying that, guys, just keeping the dream alive. All right, hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them in the comment section below. I still read every comment that comes my way, guys, as long as I get a notification for it in the top menu, in the top part of YouTube. So if I see it, I answer as soon as I can. So if I miss it, my apologies, guys. I don't try to miss any of them. All right, that's it. Till next time, guys. Peace.